Well, Police and Crime Stoppers, they're launching an auto theft awareness campaign. Right now, let's go live to Toronto Police Headquarters for more on that.
Acting Staff Superintendent Don Belanger and Acting Superintendent Anthony Paletta. The objective of today's campaign is to raise awareness about the growing impact of auto thefts within our communities, as well as deter criminality by educating and encouraging our citizens to report information about auto thefts and other forms of criminality and anonymously to Crime Stoppers or to our local police authority when required to do so. As you can see, the many guests here today exemplify the collaboration and reiterate our unified efforts being made to address public safety. I would like to take this time to recognize some of our honored guests who will be sharing a few words with you this morning. Chief of Toronto Police Service Myron Demkew, Inspector Joseph Mattis from the Holdup Squad, Toronto Police Service, and the Chair of Toronto Crime Stoppers, Mr. Sean Sporton. As well, we'd like to recognize and thank the following partners and stakeholders for attending and showing their continued support to address public safety. Toronto Police Service Board, Toronto Police Service Command, and our service members, Toronto Police Association, Toronto Crime Stoppers Board and team, the Ontario Association of Crime Stoppers and Surrounding Crime Stoppers program, the BOLO program, members of our community and stakeholders, our policing partners, OPP Acting Chief Superintendent Mike Stoddard, and of course you, the media. At this time, I would like to introduce Toronto Chief of Police Myron Demkew to share his remarks.
Thank you for that, Mark. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. And before I begin my remarks, I'd like to just acknowledge and thank our board of Toronto Police Service Board Executive Director, Dr. Duby Kenengesser, for being here, our policing and industry partners. Thank you so much for being here and your continued support and engagement on this very important issue. And a big thank you to Detective Mark Madramudu, Constable Sean O'Neill, Chair of Toronto Crime Stoppers, Sean Sporton, who you'll hear from momentarily, and the entire Crime Stoppers Board of Directors. Thank you for your amazing work to help raise awareness of the impact of auto theft in our communities. In addition to raising awareness about auto theft, this campaign aims to deter would-be criminals by encouraging anonymous reporting of auto theft and other crimes to Crime Stoppers. Toronto Crime Stoppers processes over 7,000 tips and 15,000 follow-ups annually, which has assisted investigators in solving numerous cases in which community members were victimized. The value that Toronto Crime Stoppers brings to our service is immense. In 2023, anonymous tips helped solve 5 homicides, led to over 100 arrests, with over 700 charges laid. Over $800,000 worth of illegal drugs were seized. More than $5 million in recovered and seized property, including 30 illegal firearms and 42 recovered vehicles, which made up almost half of the value of all property recovered as a result of Crime Stoppers. We could not have done this without the public's assistance. Crime Stoppers helps enhance community safety by empowering members of the public to share information without fear of reprisal. As you know, auto theft has profound effects on community safety and well-being. The number of auto thefts, including carjackings and home invasion auto thefts, and the increased violence, threats, and use of weapons in the commission of these crimes continue to be a source of significant concern in Toronto, the Greater Toronto Area, and indeed across our entire country. These are not just property crimes. These crimes impact people's sense of safety, security, and have lasting impacts on families and communities touched by these violent acts. Police services other law enforcement partners, and private sector industry stakeholders will continue working together to address this complex and very serious community safety issue. We will also continue to dedicate significant amount of resources to investigating, arresting, and prosecuting anyone involved. Public awareness campaigns like this one are just one of many ways Crime Stoppers continues to enhance community safety, and Crime Stoppers depends on the media to help raise awareness of its campaigns. I am grateful to all the media here today to support the Auto Theft Awareness Campaign. Thank you for helping us keep our communities informed and reminding the public how to contact Toronto Crime Stoppers. I encourage anyone who has information about auto theft or any criminality to please consider contacting Toronto Crime Stoppers and providing that information anonymously. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Demke, for those remarks. At this time, I'd like to invite Inspector Joseph Mattis from the Holdup Squad to share his remarks.
Thank you, Chief Demke. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Toronto Crime Stoppers Auto Theft Campaign. On June 25th, 2024, Deputy Johnson stood here with representatives from the OPP, the Halton Regional Police, York Regional Police, and the Durham Regional Police to discuss the results of the Provincial Carjacking Task Force and Project Titanium. Provincial Carjacking Task Force was formed in September of 2023 to address rising incidents of violence related to auto crimes. The end of the task force does not mean an end to our commitment to the citizens of this city or to the people of Toronto. Chief Demke has listened to the concerns of the residents of Toronto and has given the Holdup Squad the necessary resources to respond. The Holdup Squad now has the ability to provide a robust response to these victims of these auto crimes. Of the 378 occurrences investigated by the task force, 275 of them occurred right here in Toronto, where residents of Toronto were victimized. That's 73% of all occurrences happened right here. Although these crimes are being committed in Toronto, the accused are being recruited from across the GTA, the province of Ontario, and neighboring Quebec. We have to think about automobiles and automobile-related crimes such as carjackings, home invasions, and break-and-enters as commodity robberies, similar to jewelry, currency, or pharmaceutical drugs. Criminals have found a new commodity to steal: cars. We have to work collaboratively with our police partners, external partners, victims of crime, and the community to address this issue. The partnerships with other police organizations and external partner agencies resulting from the task force still exist, just in a different form. As demonstrated here today, we are constantly sharing information with our many partners. The Holdup Squad is instituting a new method to track and identify all auto-related issues within the City of Toronto. It's called the Central Auto Intake Model. This is modeled after a proven intake model developed by one of the service's own who created the Central Fraud Intake Model. All auto crimes will now be routed, triaged, and examined for similarities and trends by members of the Holdup Squad. This will include contacting every victim, providing information, prevention tips, and an offer of victim services. Sometimes the vehicle taken has a direct impact on this person's livelihood. Perhaps they use it for work, how to get to work, or even to pick up a child or partner. The Toronto Police Service understands this and is working with a dedicated group of Crowns working to prosecute these matters to ensure these concerns are understood by the judiciary. In 2023, the Toronto Police Service had 11,951 stolen autos, not including 425 for carjacking, home invasion, and break-and-enters. Whether it's robberies, carjackings, home invasion, or auto thefts, criminals are after a valuable commodity. Working together with residents, law enforcement, and industry partners, we can make it harder for criminals to victimize communities and ultimately make a safer and more secure Toronto. I'd like to thank Toronto Crime Stoppers for this event and Sean Sporton for their support, along with all our other partners that are in the room today. Thank you.
Okay, so we have been listening live to Toronto Police regarding the launch of the Auto Theft Awareness Campaign. We did hear from Toronto Police Chief Myron Dimkew, and we were just listening to the head of the Holdup Squad. Basically, this comes down to an enhanced partnership with Crime Stoppers to cut down on auto theft by offering greater rewards.